It began with rain, the kind that doesn't fall, but presses. A quiet siege against the windows, heavy, relentless. You can't always tell when a storm begins. Sometimes it's been forming for years. That day it simply decided to arrive. I was in the kitchen, tracing my finger around the rim of my favorite teacup. White porcelain with a thin gold line. Delicate, but disciplined. My husband used to say it suited me. I smiled at that thought. I hadn't thought of him much lately. Not since David brought her home. Lauren Pierce. That name still feels slick in my mouth. She had that kind of beauty that knew it and wore it like a weapon. She smiled often, but never with her eyes. I wanted to like her. I truly did. But the way she looked at this house, at my son, and sometimes at me, told me her warmth had a price. David was my only child, raised with both hands, and all my prayers. He'd grown into a man who carried the world neatly, maybe too neatly. His father would have been proud, but sometimes being proud makes you blind. That afternoon, Lauren came downstairs. Her heels clicked like punctuation. "Mrs. Waverly," she said, sweet as syrup, "we've decided it's time to put the house on the market." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She smiled. "David agrees it's too much for you to manage alone. We can move you into a smaller place, closer to town." The ground tilted. "This is my home," I said softly. "Your husband grew up here. His father died here. Every wall knows our names." Her eyes didn't flinch. "Every museum needs a curator, Maggie. It's time to let the past rest." Something inside me cracked. The tiniest sound, like china under stress. The cup slipped, hit the counter, split clean in two. Her smile widened. "Be careful," she whispered. "Some things can't be fixed." And she walked away, leaving me holding the handle like evidence. Minutes later, the front door opened. Rain followed David in. "Mother," he said, "Lauren told me you were upset." "I was having tea," I said quietly. "Your fiancé seems to think she owns the deed to my life." He sighed. "Please, not today." Lauren appeared at the top of the stairs. Perfect. Composed. In her hand, the broken cup. "David," she said, soft and trembling, "show her the handle." He turned to me. "Did you throw this at her?" "What? No, of course not." Lauren pressed a tissue to her lip. She lost her temper. I tried to help. Her voice shook just enough to be believed. David's disappointment landed like thunder. "Alina was in the kitchen," he said. "She'll know." Alina Brooks. Our housemaid. Kind, honest, the kind of girl who apologizes for breathing too loud. I nodded. "Ask her." When Alina entered, her hands trembled. Lauren folded her arms. "Well?" Alina looked between us. "I didn't see," she whispered. "I just heard it break." Lauren sighed dramatically. "You see, David? Even she can't defend her." He turned away. No shouting, no fight, just silence. The worst kind. That night, I walked the halls barefoot. The house felt colder, different. In David's old room, I found a photograph, his hand on my shoulder, both of us smiling. Proof that once, belief came easy. By morning, Lauren had taken over. Ruth told me quietly. She says all staff report to her now. David had approved it. The gardener was gone by noon. Elena suspended until trust is restored. Lauren moved through rooms like smoke, fast, invasive, and hard to catch. So I began keeping notes. Every word she said, every lie she crafted. Not paranoia, insurance. There was one thing she didn't know. Months ago, David had installed a small security camera in my husband's study. He forgot about it. I hadn't. At 2:17 a.m., I heard metal scrape, a key in the side door. Not thunder, metal. I followed the sound. There she was, in the study, rummaging through drawers, photographing documents. Looking for something? I asked. She froze, then smiled. I couldn't sleep, thought I'd read. At 2 a.m, from my husband's files? She blinked, mask slipping. Stress isn't good for your heart, she murmured, brushing past me. Cold, deliberate, not a touch, a warning. The next morning she hummed while making breakfast. Like her crimes were lullabies. David avoided my eyes, and I realized Lauren didn't just want the house, she wanted erasure. So I checked the footage. My hands shook as I logged in, read timestamp 2:17 a.m., and there she was, caught. That night when David came home, I said quietly, "You might want to see this." He watched, silence stretching, his jaw locked, his eyes finally his again. "She said you hit her," he whispered. And now I said, "You know I didn't." Lauren came home to find him packing her things. She denied. She begged. But truth doesn't bargain. By morning she was gone. The police called it fraud. I called it cruelty. They found evidence in her car, forged ledgers, stolen charity funds. When they led her away, she looked at me once. "Enjoy the house," she hissed. I almost pitied her. Almost. Afterward, I sat in the kitchen as dawn arrived. David stood at the window. "I'm sorry," he said, "for doubting you." I reached for his hand. "You believed when it mattered," he nodded. "We'll start a fund for women like Elena." "Call it what it is," I said. "Justice." Days passed. The house healed in small ways. Ruth hummed again. Elena smiled, cautious but real. One afternoon, Ruth brought me a box. Inside, a saucer mended with gold. "Kintsugi," she said. "They fix cracks with gold. We figured you'd understand." I ran my thumb along the seam. It glowed. Weeks later, I found an envelope. My name in block letters. Inside, a receipt for a storage unit. And a photograph. Lauren, in the library, taking pictures. On the back, she keeps copies when she steals. David called the police. They found boxes, proof of everything. Truth multiplies when left alone long enough. After the case closed, the house finally felt like mine again. Not because I won, but because it remembered me. One evening, David brought coffee and a letter. His father's handwriting. "Tell your mother you trust her when the world tells you not to. It will save you both someday." We smiled like survivors of the same storm. Later that night, I made tea. The saucer's gold seam caught the light and threw it back forgivingly. I placed it on the mantel beside the photographs. David, Ruth, Elena, and me. Not centered, just there. People ask if I forgive her. Forgiveness is a door with 2 hinges, truth and time. I've fixed the first. The second will take however long it takes. But I forgive myself for staying quiet too long, for letting fear settle in the wallpaper. If you're listening to me in the dark and your hands are shaking and the loudest voice in your room is a lie, touch a doorway. That's where before becomes after. Step through, bring whichever part of you is brave. The rest will follow. As for me, I keep that teacup on the mantel, cracked, mended, gleaming. Some mornings, I swear, the gold catches the sunlight first, like it remembers. That's my repair, not perfect. True, that's my truth, ugly in places, but mine. Good night, dear.